Hello and a very warm welcome to ETCISO. This episode is sponsored by Kaspersky. Now, when we talk about cybersecurity today, one thing is clear. The strength of any defense lies in the intelligence behind it. And at the core of that intelligence is Kaspersky's Expertise Center, a network of 5 specialized divisions that turn billions of data points into meaningful, actionable insights for organizations across the world. Now, from AI-powered threat analysis and global research to industrial system protection and hands-on security services, each of these centers play a distinct role in strengthening Kaspersky's foundation of data and threat intelligence. So, to understand how this ecosystem works together and also what it means for businesses looking to stay ahead of evolving threats, we are joined in by Jaydeep Singh, who is General Manager for South Asia at Kaspersky. Well, thank you, Jaydeep, for joining us for this conversation today. And, to start this conversation, let's start from the top. Kaspersky has 5 centers of expertise at this point in time. So if you can introduce these centers and also how are they contributing to creating that, threat and intelligence foundation.
Kaspersky today is able to detect more than 480,000 new malware samples every day. It is largely because of the 5 different centers of expertise which we have.
Yeah.
Let me start with the first one, which is the most important one, is the global research team, the global research and analytics team. This is a group of nearly 50 people who are placed in various countries globally, who track more than 900 APT groups. And they are constantly analyzing on what the APT groups are doing, what is the kind of mischief they are up to, and then sort of consolidate information into various reports in various sectors. The second very important is the AI technology lab. We leverage AI significantly into our products. A lot of our analysis is done by AI engines. A lot of our analysis for these malware samples also is AI driven. So we have an AI technology research lab for us. The third is the security services. Now, security services is very important because this is a center which we are able to use for some of the specialized services like compromise assessment, incident response, things like managed detection and response. The fourth would be around the threat hunting and threat research, which looks at malware, vulnerabilities, which has also got an AV lab. This is a fourth vertical for us. And I think this is a very important center of expertise for us because we are able to analyze a huge amount of threat data in the threat research labs. And the fifth, which is a very unique and very important center for us, is the ICS Threat Lab. Kaspersky has got an ICS CERT team, which focuses on industrial control systems, the OT security, and this contributes significantly to finding vulnerabilities in the OT environment.
All right. Thank you for sharing that information with us, and now we'll take it one by one. You talked to us about 5 data centers. So let's start with the global research and analysis team. As you said, this team sort of focuses on complex and targeted attacks, right? So if you can share any real life example for our audiences, any example of discovery, that significantly sort of enhanced Kaspersky's threat intelligence.
Yeah, so one of the most recent ones was, I think we found a lot of vulnerabilities in the Google Chrome sandbox, which was researched by the great team. They were responsible for it, which was published this year itself. One very significant one which we also they detected was around the Apple iOS. We used to, there's a project called Project Triangulation. We were able to detect a vulnerability which could lead to a zero-day attack. This was done again by the great team. So this is, and they, as I mentioned, they today track more than 900 APT plus groups of interest right across the globe.
All right, so let's now move on to the Security Services Center you were talking about. Of course, this team interacts with the clients directly, right? So, one of our most important teams. So, how does that field experience sort of translate into sharper threat intelligence? If you can talk about the human input and client insights into the data loop, how is that happening?
So one of the main services being offered by the Security Services Center for us is the managed detection and response. And this is a very important service where we are able to provide to clients who have not invested in their own SOC per se,
Yeah.
because maybe lack of manpower, or they don't have all the skills with them. What happens in this case is that our experts are able to monitor the environment. They're able to look at any threats 24/7. At times, we also are able to get samples of suspected malware, which they analyze and share back the results with the particular uh, agencies at times.
Okay.
This center is also very important for very expert services like compromise assessment, things like red teaming, penetration testing.
Okay.
So this center sort of interacts with customers in one of the most critical areas where we are able to unearth potential vulnerabilities which are not visible to the standard products which have been
Okay.
deployed in the environments.
Okay.
So some of them are also future proofing beyond the visual range.
Okay.
So those are
Okay.
things which this center develops for delivers to the customers.
Okay.
The Kaspersky MDR services are a lot of enterprise customers use them, but also very useful for the SMB customers.
Okay.
SMB customers might not have the skilled manpower or the products deployed, so they're able to use the MDR services from Kaspersky to effectively manage their security posture. So this center provides that particular anchor and pillar to our customers.
All right.
We also have services like the application security assessment. For example, a customer wants to launch a particular product, and he wants to be sure that there is no vulnerability in that particular application or product.
Okay.
So we can do the security assessment for that particular product
Yeah.
before it goes to the market. That helps the customer in a better product and also protects them against any kind of liabilities going forward
Yeah.
in case of any gaps there.
All right. Let's move on to the threat research and the AI tech research center. Of course, also one of the most important centers, because when we talk about AI, it's everywhere, right? So talk to us about how these two centers sort of work together in collaboration, and also talk to us about the bridge between the human expertise and the AI technology.
So Kaspersky has been leveraging AI in the environment for nearly 20 plus years now. It's been a part of our product development. It's been part of our threat research. It's also part of some of our response services. So when we are detecting more than, I think it's around 500,000 new malware samples every day, it is humanly not possible for people to personally research them.
Yeah.
So what happens is we collect the data, which is again through our AI labs. We are able to reduce that to a significant level. I think we get more than 1 billion samples every day. We reduce that to a significant level, and then this goes to our researchers, our threat researchers, and then they're able to come out with their own expert services, expert opinion, to create a very high fidelity output to our customers, internal and external. One of the biggest challenges, Himanshi, which happens in the cybersecurity world is false positives.
Yeah. Correct.
You get too many alarms,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are false alarms.
Yeah.
So Kaspersky prides in having some of the highest fidelity services for our customers.
Okay.
And that is one of the reasons that the Kaspersky Threat Intelligence Services is amongst the best in the world today.
All right. You also spoke about the ICS CERT
Yes.
center, and it is one of your high stakes
Yes.
center, right? So talk to us about why is it so critical when we talk about, when we talk about protecting the critical infrastructure, because it specializes in industrial control system threats.
Great point. I think if you look at the great cybersecurity companies, I think it's very important for them to have a portfolio which protects not only the IT environments, but also the OT environments.
OT environments, yeah.
You could have a point product, but for a large conglomerate, they have both IT and OT environments. A lot of times they are air gapped. What we've been realizing in the last few years is that a lot of threats are emerging towards critical infrastructure, power, transmission, transportation, and we've seen a lot of attacks happening in these particular sectors. And any attack on the critical infrastructure, whether it's airports, transportation, can cripple these services for a significant time, also jeopardize human lives. So this center is a center where we are able to detect a lot of vulnerabilities which can mitigate threats on the OT environments. For example, we protect more than 15% of nuclear power generators in the world today, which are using Kaspersky ICS products in their environment. A very unique sort of problem in the ICS world is a lot of the old solutions are deployed on workstations are on legacy operating systems like Windows XP, which are not sort of supported by the vendors themselves. So this center actually supports some of the legacy operating systems which are not only supported by the respective OEMs to ensure those workstations and nodes are protected. Going, of course, then they have the expertise around the core OT systems like PLCs, SCADA systems, to create a unified dashboard along with the Kaspersky SIM, which is we call the XDR for OT environment. So this center becomes a very critical center for Kaspersky, for our customers. And we are seeing a lot of interest and adoption of ICS protection by critical infrastructure, large enterprises, because there could be vulnerabilities in the ICS environment which could be lying there for the last 10 years or 20 years. And then there could be a malware which is waiting for that particular system to be connected to the internet and then get triggered on. So it's very important for you to unearth those kind of vulnerabilities or malware in the ICS environments. What we, apart from the products and services on the ICS side, we also provide the threat intelligence services specifically for the ICS systems. This is a very unique proposition, which is highly appreciated by large enterprises, by large SOC deployments. This can be integrated to their existing SIM environment, or they can use the Kaspersky SIM. So these are some of the areas where I think the ICS ICS CERT becomes very, very important and critical when we extend our products and services to our customers.
Okay. Clearly, you deal with a lot of data. You have access to a lot of raw data. So talk to us about how do you sort of translate this raw data or transform this raw data into, practical cybersecurity insights? What's the methodology and how does it happen?
So again, we leverage a lot of machine learning in this. We use, when we get the telemetry from nearly 400 million of our Kaspersky customers, and of course our collaborations globally. When we collect this information, we look at IOCs, apply YARA rules, integrated that to a SOC. And then do a correlation using the Kaspersky SIM to give a very sort of potent information to our own teams as well as to our customers. So and then translate this information, which is a machine information, into a human readable form, and of course present them in dashboards which are much more user friendly. and then which can lead to specific actions by the SOC analysts or by the security analysts team in the
Okay.
customer environments.
Okay. Okay. So, let's talk about when it comes to selecting vendors for organizations. How can they choose between different vendors? I mean, what are those points they should perhaps look at while choosing any vendor or Kaspersky for that matter?
I think three very important areas. One is your products need to be world class. I think if you don't have a world class product proven, um, then I think that's an area I think we need to look at very importantly. Kaspersky has been there for last 20 years, 28 years. We started as an antivirus company, and I think today we have the best XDR platform in the world, the best ICS products and services in the world. So that having that experience gives you also a repository of malware information and then confidence to be leveraged to our products and services. Second is geographical spread. I think we are now present in more than 200 countries, directly or through our affiliates. That gives us access to a lot of telemetry. A lot of it is analyzed by Kaspersky, the great team, the researchers. What also happens is that we have more than 50% of our team are core researchers or analysts with more than 40 PhDs in maths who are responsible for creating algorithms to the perpetual threats which we are looking at, which we see. So these are three areas where I think which are very, very important for anyone to make a choice. And of course, the particular product or services needs to sit in your environment.
Yeah.
From Kaspersky perspective, we have the complete gamut of products from EDR to network detection and response to the XDR, but of course a great OT security platform both for kicks, both for nodes as well as for network threat intelligence. So we complete the complete gamut of services supported by our own professional services. So we have people who are present in most of the countries,
Yeah.
who are there to help customers implement and then support after that. So these are, I think, some of the considerations for what people should have when they are choosing a particular partner or an OEM.
All right, Jaydeep, security is a huge industry in India, right? But when I talk to a lot of CISOs, there are very few companies who are proactive when it comes to cybersecurity measures. A lot of companies are just reactive. So how can they sort of transform from being reactive to proactive? And also, how can they integrate that threat intelligence into their security operations system? If you can share any actionable insights with us.
Yeah, so I think one, the spend on cybersecurity in India is increasing. That is one very clear. What is important is for customers to look at some forward-looking services which give them a perspective of threats which could be coming over a period of time. There could be a malware in your environment which is just there. It is sitting there to exploit in vulnerabilities, maybe in the next few weeks' time or a month's time. So I think doing services like compromise assessment, looking at services like red teaming would help customers significantly better from a security posture perspective. The other is training of people who are beyond the security function. For example, I think it's very important and finance person should be to be aware of what are the security protocols they have to follow. I think everyone in the company should be trained for basic understanding of how not to click on phishing emails. So the awareness part of cybersecurity needs to percolate down to all the functions within the organization per se.
All right.
On the threat intelligence side, it's a very important, again, forward-looking service which can be integrated to a firewall directly, or could be integrated to an SIEM, which is, and we have got more than 30 different types of threat feeds, from bots to malicious IPs to URLs. there could be things like APT reporting, crime wave reporting. Now, it depends upon what vertical you are in, what could be your area of interest. You could subscribe to those services. Um, Again, when you look at threat intelligence services, it is giving you information on a very fast basis. I think one is of course quick information, which helps you to make decisions much faster. So one is proactive look at services which are beyond visual radar. Number two is integrate the threat intelligence into your firewall environment, into your SIM SOC environment, to make better decisions and mitigate those threats.
Yeah. While we talk about operationalizing threat intelligence, digital footprint intelligence is as important, right? So, talk to us about how it has both, a strategic and tactical value for organizations.
Very good. I think it's very relevant point. I think digital footprint intelligence is very important for looking at any kind of compromised credentials in the dark web, any malicious domains which are there in the dark web. It could be impersonating websites. So it's very important for a large corporate or even for any medium-sized enterprise also to get a sense on if there are any kind of compromised credentials in the dark web. It could be emails. It could be any kind of applications which are exposed to the internet. It could be domains which are phishing your domains. Or it could also be APT actors who are trying to target you specifically. So you need to have a digital footprint intelligence with you, where you are able to get a sense on what is there in dark web, your information, or somebody trying to target you. Extending into things like takedown services of domains which are impersonating your domains. It could be social media apps as well at times. So the digital footprint intelligence combined with threat intelligence is a very important factor in increasing your security posture.
Okay. But how can organizations sort of prioritize the threat intelligence findings for the maximum impact that we are talking about?
Goes back to the point where I made around having high fidelity analysis. So if you have a very high fidelity analysis, that reduces the number of false positives. Now, every vulnerability does not need to be, all the vulnerabilities are not same. So I think you need to
prioritize,
contextualize which vulnerability needs to be prioritized first. So there is where our expert services come in. So we have services like Ask the Analyst. Now it could be anything in a security environment. If you subscribe to the services, you can pick up the phone, talk to our analyst, and they can give you the immediate feedback around a particular. It could be a real threat. It could be a false threat. So those can be mitigated at that sense. So I think one is having high fidelity information. Number two is to also prioritize which is a vulnerability or threat which is require higher attention. And third is having some expert opinion to give you a perspective, a third-party perspective on that particular threat.
All right. As we move towards the end of this conversation, Jaydeep, we live in an intelligence-driven world now, right? Everyone perhaps is talking about artificial intelligence or different kinds of intelligences. When we talk about the human intelligence, I think this is the time in the conversation where we also tell our humans, the CISOs, the warriors, how to sort of future-proof their organizations. Give us any 2 key takeaways.
So I'll go beyond 2. My apologies, but
more than 2. Okay.
So one is have the best-in-class products. Number 2, future-proof with some of these services like red teaming, and Kaspersky has got some great services which are delivered by Kaspersky themselves. These are not outsourced to third parties. Look at compromise assessment. Third is awareness campaigns within the organization, cross-functional from manufacturing to finance to admin to HR. I think that's very important. And I think look at what could be the technology within the organization maybe 10 years down the line. I think future proofing is is very important as a long-term strategic goal for an organization. For example, Kaspersky, apart from having the best-of-class products around EDR, XDR, network detection and response, the industrial control system security, also has invested significantly in developing our own operating system, which we call the Kaspersky operating system. It's a microkernel-based architecture. It's our own operating system, where it's an immutable OS. We have used this for creating some technology demonstration products. For example, I'm carrying a phone which is based on the Kaspersky operating system. Now, this phone is a phone which is based on the Kaspersky operating system.
Yeah, you can show it to the camera. Yeah.
So this phone is basically on a cost. So this phone is an unhackable phone. You can't hack this. You don't require an antivirus on this phone at all. So these are, and this can be extended to various products, could be servers, could be storage. Of course, we will not do that. We're looking at partners who can leverage the Kaspersky operating system for creating an environment which is completely cyber attack proof. So I think this is what we look at in a long term as we mark our journey over the next 1 decade or so.
All right. You know, we started this conversation on the thought that strength of any defense system lies in the intelligence behind it.
Right.
And this is where we want to sort of end this conversation. Thank you so much for being a part
Thanks
of
very
this
much.
conversation.
Thank you. Really appreciate this. Thank you.
And to our viewers, stay tuned for many, many more such insightful conversations only at ETCISO.